beseech thee, guide us through these troubled times, and lead us to eternal draft glory.
Smite down my enemies.
Should we get the show started?
You right, Shane? What's wrong, man? We gotta start the show, dude.
I don't want to talk about it.
Dude, we're the wrong camera, man. You gotta get it together.
Alright.
It's not that bad, man. It's not that bad. I mean, it's pretty bad. Come on, man.
Alright, show. This is the only thing keeping me going in the draft league.
That's right.
The only thing keeping me interested. No, that's not true.
Thank God we started this thing. Welcome, guys, for episode 3 of FMDT. Shane's a bit under the weather, you could say.
Yes.
He's not had a great week. Not had a great season. But had a great start to the season, unlike some of us.
But I'm sure we'll cover that in great detail later on.
Yep, so we're launching straight into our first segment, I suppose, Trade Talk.
Well, we'll just give a quick summary. We'll do Trade Talk again, we'll have all our segments, weekly wrap, talk about everyone's games, our games. Then we'll have a new segment, which is points of interest, tentatively.
Yeah, the crowd's questions.
Crowd's questions.
Where you get to ask us a question and we'll answer it.
Well, you already made the segment for us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cam and Alec. Studs and duds, and then the look ahead with the feature match.
Yep, cool.
Heading straight into it, Bart is going to kick us off with Trade Talk.
Cool. So there's been a bit of action this week. First we'll start with just the free agents that we had. Quite a few people were picked up straight away after waivers last week. We had Nahas picked up by Shane, got a solid 70.
He could be moving onto my field this week. We'll see.
Could be a good pickup for a really depleted forward line. Yo Man by Ian Nielsen, got him a nice 94, and he's looking to really solidify his place at the Crows.
Definitely.
Kuwait in full flight, so that's good.
Kicking a goal out of the bloody centre square.
Yep. Yeah, exactly, man. No, yeah, that was great. We also had Asher picking up the highest scoring free agent of the round, Ben Griffiths, who, yeah.
Good one.
Yeah, last one that passed for me, because I remember having him for a bit last year, but...
I had him last year as well.
Yeah.
I dropped him and picked him up again.
He's been doing the rounds. So the 107 was really good for him, and he actually, I believe, had him on field, which was surprising. A couple of other good free agent pickups, I think, were Patrick Cripps, who was picked up after being dropped by Ian Nielsen, and Max got his grubby little hands on him.
Doesn't play for Collingwood.
Yeah, I know. What are you doing, man? Max just keeps getting all these players, you know. He also got Oxley, which I thought was really surprising because he went past 5 possible people that could have got him, and then Max was number 6, got him into his team. Thought he would have gone a bit higher, and he completely backed up his form, got a 90 for him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, great pickup. Let's stop Max from getting all the good players, or at least all the good players, whatever. Like, the guy is...
Well, actually...
The guy's a shark on the free agent.
I don't know if it's coming up, but yeah. Max did miss out on 2 of the Collingwood players.
Sam Dwyer?
Yeah.
And...
Jesse White.
Oh, Jesse White, yeah. Of course, yeah.
Wasn't there someone else? Something?
Varco?
Varco.
Yeah. Good on you, Asher, taking Varco out from him. Straight after he had a huge score, so I'm not sure he'll back it up too many times, but who knows if Ian Nielsen listens to this, he could give you a good trade for him. So also, I wanted to put some mentions out to Honeychurch, who was picked up by Ian Mills after the waivers had cleared, which I thought was a really good pickup.
Yeah.
He only got 56, but he's going to be a good pickup for you.
I reckon.
I think you had him on your watch list.
I had him I had a wavering for him, but I got Nahas, so yeah.
Yeah. We also had Chris Knights picked up by Stevie Scratchy Squires, and unfortunately, just really unfortunate for Chris Knights. Like, he's finally come back and he's injured straight away again. And the guy's made of paper, and unfortunately, there's a risk he's always going to run. Again is the main word. Yeah, again and again and again. So unfortunate for him, unfortunate for Steve. Also, I wanted to mention Ace Cordy, who for some reason Kieran thought was worth picking up, and he got a big 11 points. Luckily for him on his bench, but still, Ace Cordy, like,
he dropped.
Not worth a spot on your team, man. A bit of a dud, that one. And just a bit of a boost for myself, Robertson, who got a casual 99. Thought it was alright.
Scratchy was pretty happy about that one.
Yeah, watching the game. He's fucking everywhere. What is this? He was actually on like 70 points at halftime, and he only finished on 99. So
yeah, unlucky there, but
yeah, I know, right?
Could have been on 140.
Could have had the highest free agent of the week. Do you have a stud point for that later on?
Don't think so.
Well, I think I'll nominate Asher.
All right, I'll write it down.
Cool.
Because
he actually started him, which is pretty impressive.
We did discuss doing that last week, but yeah, we will.
Cool. So moving on to trades. So we had 3 trades this week in the league. First off, Alec fired off a trade to Ian Nielsen, who was a hot topic this week. Gave him Pittard for Mitch Duncan. Ian promptly accepted that trade. Duncan had
was that the first one?
That was the first trade of the week. Yeah, so Pittard going off of like 30 disposals, 125 points, stud point. Ian got sucked into the hype and gave him Mitch Duncan. What's your opinion on that trade, Shane?
Well, it didn't seem like the greatest trade.
It's an understatement. Being very diplomatic there.
But Mitch Duncan had 2 very poor scores. I don't know what he did this week. Have you got those statistics?
He got like 70.
Oh yeah. What did Pittard get?
90.
It's a brilliant trade. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
No, it was probably, I mean, looking at it on paper, like, Alec probably got the best of that trade.
What I find really surprising about the trade is not only that Ian gave up what is arguably a much better player for a much worse player, but he needed centres. He's got no one in his centres, and he's giving away a centre for a back, which probably isn't going to be all that he hopes he would be.
Well, Alec made the point to me that Pittard he's got a very good disposal, and Port do want the ball in his hands, and it looks like he's playing more on a wing, like halfback, like running it out this year. So maybe he will turn it around. Well, yeah, I don't know.
You're very hopeful there.
That's probably what Ian.
If Alec was making this point to you, why wouldn't he keep Pittard for himself?
I don't know. I think he was trying to justify the trade.
Yeah.
But he made these points,
I think he fooled you, and I think he fooled Ian.
I'm just trying to share his point of view.
Fair enough.
Maybe he can fool everybody.
Yeah, I fully expect, in my opinion, I fully expect Duncan to bounce back. I had him pegged for like a high 90s average starting the year. I think he had a few tagging roles to start the year off with. I doubt he's going to keep doing that, and especially with Geelong now missing some players, he's probably going to have to, fill in some other roles there, actually get a bit more of the ball, so I totally expect him to bounce back.
Yeah.
Well, moving on now, next trade was one done by myself. Oh no, I think actually, no, Max got in before me.
Yep.
Nathan Jones, Cam giving him Nathan Jones for Max's Howlett and Jared Waite. Now, this is a funny one because, I feel like people were just like using me as a source of information in a way, because I remember when we were watching the football and we were going through teams with Alec, and I said, oh look, Mitch Duncan scored badly this week. You could probably get him. And he did. And then with Max, he was asking me about Howlett, and I said, he's probably a fringe player for us. He's probably not going to be our best 22.
That's a call.
Yeah,
Big call.
that was a big call. That was before Myers went under surgery though, so I mean that affected things obviously. So he's probably going to be in the team, and especially after this weekend's performances.
Oh, game 100.
Yeah.
Smashed it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he did really well. I think the trade was a bit of a definition of selling high, buying low, because Nathan Jones had hit a 30, Jared Waite had hit 140 or something, 7 goals, whatever.
144.
Yeah.
146.
Yeah, and actually, I think he basically gave Max the win against Saku as well. But Max, the ruthless coach that he is, cuts him straight from his team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not good enough. 7 goals.
Well, he said, I'm done with you. You've done all you need to for me.
Done your job.
Done your job. That's
I need
right.
a midfielder.
I've got all I need from you. And boom, he gets himself Nathan Jones, who I think is a pretty solid pickup. Based off last week's results, though, actually probably a reasonably even trade.
Oh, yeah. Judging it from one
Yeah,
week.
I would say it was a reasonably even trade, except for the fact that they traded draft picks, and Max
Yes.
got himself a draft pick upgrade, and I think that was a bit silly of Cam to give him that much. But
He's got to...
it's not a super
Good
high draft
performance.
pick, and yeah, we'll see what happens really.
I think that Jared Waite scored about 100 points less than he did last week, but that's what you get.
Just a touch. That's what you get with like, key forward. And so finally, we've got my trade, Tom Lynch of the Crows for Devon Smith.
I think this one caused some controversy amongst fellow coaches.
I think there was already a bit of tension brewing, shall we say, and then this sort of made it boil over.
Pushed
completely.
some people over the edge.
I just like to justify it. I don't think it's quite as trade rape as everyone suggested. I think Tom Lynch is quite underrated. He got 100 on the weekend, which is very solid.
Yeah, no, that was good.
Yeah, he's actually got keeper value, so he can be kept in the 10th round as a forward. He's going to be averaging in the high 80s. That's a very good keeper.
Funnily enough,
Yep.
as you were telling me off saying Alec's point of view on his trade, I was telling exactly what you're saying right now to Alec during the week, and he said basically the same things. Bart's got you fooled here. Like he's just, he's trying to talk up his trade so it doesn't look so bad.
No, you see, Alex is trying to cover his own trade. He's trying to cover his own loss. He's trying to deflect attention away
Like you're
from
doing.
Pittard.
Like you're doing with Pittard.
Oh, whatever, Shane.
No, it's just interesting
Yeah.
that you both had the same. You both done exactly the same.
Look, what sold it for Ian? Well, I mean, he hasn't done this yet, but I told him, look, you're going to have both Tom Lynches in your team after this trade.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, and I said, that's going to be amazing. And I said, you can rename your team the Lynch Mob.
Is he going to?
He said he would rename his team the Lynch Mob if the Lynches scored 10 goals between them on the weekend. They managed 4.
Oh,
So,
was that all Adelaide's Tom Lynch?
no, actually, he only got 1.
Oh,
Gold Coast's
100
Tom
points
Lynch
with
got
1
3.
goal.
Yeah,
That's
I know, he's a gun.
he's a good
I'm telling
player.
you, he's a good player, alright? It's actually very difficult for me to give up Tom Lynch, because I had him quite highly ranked above what everybody else
There you
thought.
go. You do have a
Yeah.
decent player.
Anyway, sold him to Ian on the basis that Ian's also an Adelaide supporter, so you got to work what you can.
Yeah.
Did you have any extra comments there on the Tom Lynch Devon Smith trade?
No, but I think that what you said, because of the trade you did with Ian last week, and then Alec's trade with Ian this week, that trade got looked on very, very poorly. And in the context of all the other trades, that looked really bad.
I think,
Just looking at it on its own, it doesn't look too bad, but in the context of everything else, yeah, it looked pretty bad.
I think I've done all the raping and pillaging I'm going to do now.
And I liked that Scratchy was actually quoting me from last week and telling Ian to chill, and
Yeah,
it means people
that's
watching
nice.
our show, so thanks guys.
To be fair, he
Keep
did
quoting.
reject a much worse trade from me,
Yeah.
where I was trying to get Matthew Prudis in the deal as well. So,
No, I think that's it for the trade talk.
So next up, we've got our weekly wrap up, and we'll just take a look at everyone else's results first.
Yep.
Before we have a look at ours in the feature match. So first up, Shane, what have you got for us?
Yep, so we'll do it differently this week. We'll do 1 match each.
Mhm.
Maybe a few expert comments thrown in.
Yeah.
But we'll try and go through them fairly quickly, not go into too much detail. But
The untalkative one.
yeah. So the first match I'm looking at will be Millsy versus Sahil, the Megaheads and the Barcelonians. So Millsy took out this match by 116 points, 1502 to 1386. So pretty decent-ish score
Decent.
from Millsy. Well, compared to some other people. So Sahil got hit by a couple of injuries to Mitch Wallace and Jimmy Bartell, who combined for 18 points.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily for him, he had Langford and Garlett on the bench to cover those scores, and they combined for 175.
Garlett did really well, didn't he?
Yeah, 97 points.
Surprising?
Which Garlett is it? Melbourne's Garlett, yeah.
Even more surprising.
So, you know, that didn't really affect him in the end. But what won it for Millsy was his top three midfielders, Lockie Neal, Isaac Smith and Jack Crisp. Who's Jack Crisp? I don't know. They combined three midfielders for 392 points.
Max can tell you he plays for Collingwood.
Wow. So I think what won it for Millsy was those midfielders, basically.
There's a centre forward as well. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, Lockie Neal living up to some pre-season hype there.
Yeah, definitely. And those guys sort of covered for a couple of poor performances from Vloston, who got 26.
Yeah, not even like injury affected or anything, just a poor
And
game.
also Mitch Robinson's 47. So a couple of underperformers there, but well covered by the likes of Lockie Neal's 162. And so, yeah, Millsy ended up winning, running out as winner.
Yeah, good on him.
Yes.
Alright,
So who have you got there, Bart?
I've got the Sherrins, Max's Sherrins against Nelson's Passwords Taco.
Sherrin's and the Tacos.
Yes, Sherrins and the Tacos. Actually, has anybody tried to log into Nelson's account yet?
Hang
I
on.
think there's a clue there. I'm saving that one for when I'm facing him. I'm actually able to beat him with that. Yeah.
I won't show this in the clip then.
Yeah, edit. Anyway, so moving on. So both Max and Nelson loopholed. Max got himself Adam Oxley's score, while Nelson raised him one and got Adam Schneider's 121.
That's a good free agent.
Which is pretty huge. Yeah, got himself Mitch Grigg on the field, which is good because he's finally found a use for Mitch Grigg. So, well done, Nelson. Yeah, there was also a free agent that he picked up, like, I think, a week prior, so really good pickup for him. Max, however, ended up running out the victor despite Nelson winning the loophole battle by 100 points. He was helped by Lumumba really coming back and restoring his faith in him, because I think he was thinking about trading him out.
Right.
So,
A lot of people traded him out RDT, so...
not me.
Oh.
Okay. Taylor Hunt, still firing well in the back line and stating his case, I think, for one of the best free agent pickups of the season at the moment. And who else do we have? Jack Steven with 138, really just firing him into the lead a bit, with 3 votes as well. Giving him the win.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention also that Nelson had Dane Swan, who got 144, who is probably one of the few remaining first round picks that weren't a dud. So,
yeah.
I mean, unfortunately it wasn't enough for you this week, but, things are looking...
He took out the 3
good.
votes.
Yeah, no, he took out 2 votes,
Oh,
actually. Yeah.
2 votes.
Yeah, it works on a system where the winning team gets a bit of a bonus.
I just read it wrong.
Yeah, cool.
Don't mind me.
It's my bit here, Shane. It's Carpenter, right? Yeah, so we could be back to pig status though, which is really good for Nelson going forward. But yeah, Max takes that one out and moved himself into 3rd place on the ladder. Who have you got up next?
Bring back the barrel and the AFL Apocalypse.
Fantastic.
Both coming off wins from last week.
Mm-hmm.
I know for some reason yesterday Alec was sending me all these stressed out messages thinking that he was not gonna...
Well, he posted as much on Facebook, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Thought he was going to get his own medicine back at him.
Yeah, but he ended up winning by quite a fair margin, 131 points.
Nothing to worry about.
Getting the highest score of the week.
And very close to my high score.
Yeah, just ticking over the 1700 mark.
Yeah, join the elusive 1700 club. Well done, Alec.
So Cam was quite unlucky. He got the third highest score of the week.
Yeah.
He had a very strong midfield this week, averaging 100 between the 7 of them. One of his mistakes that he made was to do with the trade from last week.
Yeah.
He got in Jared Waite and Ben Howlett. Jared Waite's on the field, Ben Howlett's on the bench.
Yeah.
There's a 60 point difference between them. So
would that have been?
it wouldn't have been enough for him, but that's one of the things. Another thing there, he had Tom Scully on the bench with 100.
Yeah, he had a lot of points on the bench there.
Yeah, which would have given him an extra 20, 30 points almost.
Still not enough. Even both things on
still not enough.
So Alec smashed it seems.
Yeah. So Alec actually had 10 hundreds on his field, and they helped cover up for the likes of Shenton's 49 on his field, and his worst midfielder Maverick Weller. He's still got 65, but
it's an interesting choice of midfielder.
And just another point, Josh Kennedy only managed to back up his 10 goals. I don't know how many goals he kicked, but with a 1 goal, 62 points.
Missed your chance to sell high there, Alec.
Just got him over the 1700 mark because he was waiting on that in the last game.
Ah, right.
Good one, Alec. You might have some stud points coming your way. So who have you got up next?
Great Texpectations versus DK Smash. This was a pretty close one. I think one of the closest, if not the closest, game of the round. Smash used himself the loophole, got himself Jack Billings's 78 for Deledio, which seems surprising that you would go for a 78 until you look at Ash's forward line and you realise he had really no other choice. I mean, he was already starting Ben Griffiths, who we got off the free agent pool, and who was his top scoring forward. So there you go.
That worked out well.
Yeah, but yeah, he had Job Watson go big, Scott Thompson come back in for the team and also deliver. So, great returns there. Kieran had some unlikely heroes, unlikely big scores in Stephen Hill and Denial Pierce, who really busted out big scores for him, which
waiting for Fremantle.
Yeah, so I think Cam must be really annoyed that he missed out on those 2 Fremantle players.
That's what I forgot in the last game.
Yeah.
One of Cam's lowest scoring players was Matthew Pavlich. The entire Fremantle went
ballistic.
Went ballistic apart from Pavlich and
Barlow. We'll get to,
yeah.
Yeah.
So Cam was very unlucky there.
Yeah, he picked himself the wrong Freo players. Yeah, Kieran was let down by Tex, who really was kept in check on the day by Tom McDonald and kept pretty quiet. So
he was a real talk for a trade in RDT.
Yeah, well, I mean, he had a huge week last week. Fully expecting bigger things from him than his 49. He still booted 3 goals though, but was kept pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Regardless, this gets Ash up to 2 wins now. Why Kieran is actually really unfortunate because he's got the highest league score. He's got the most points for.
Right.
But he's sitting on just 1 win and 2 losses.
Most points for?
Most points for.
Oh, even more than you?
Yes.
Jeez.
Yes.
More than Alec?
Yes. More than... Yes.
Everybody.
That's what most points means.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I know.
Poor Kieran.
So
he's got 1 win.
And he's got 1 win.
That's huge. It's unlucky. You got to play against me. Speaking of, I guess it's my matchup.
Right, so moving on to, I guess, our own matchups. So we've got, how did you go this week, Shane? I mean, I can guess from your reaction earlier. Should I get a box of tissues ready for you?
You may have noticed that I was a bit sad at the start of the show.
Yeah.
I'm going to get back into my sad mode now.
Yeah. That's
so, 3 weeks, 3 losses. Ian Nielsen came back from his score of 1,000 last week to get 1,493, which is actually quite a decent score.
Is it because he fielded a 14?
Well,
that might have helped.
Probably helped him. His 2 big contributors were Jordan Lewis and Brad Ebert.
Well, Jordan Lewis has been on fire this year.
Yeah. Just absolutely smashing it. He also got quite good from his some of his trades, like 100 from Tom Lynch and 92 from Jasper Pittard.
Yeah, except that Devin Smith did better, but yeah.
I know he still got the 100
Yeah, still.
against me.
That's right, he's a gun, Tom
He
Lynch.
did have the Lynch mob on the field.
He's 2 high scoring forwards.
So I can't really say much else about his team.
Because you don't want to.
I'm going to move on to my team. So I made 2 moves this week. You know, Josh Bruce, Jeremy McGovern, both did really well in the first 2 rounds. I couldn't leave them on the bench. So they both moved onto my field.
Chasing points, Shane.
But, well, I went with alright, I'll put on whoever's got the highest averages. So Chris Mayne moves to the bench.
I'm interested to know, right? So you've got Josh Bruce on field. Why didn't you try to loophole him? He was playing in the early match.
Because I don't have any non-playing players.
And you didn't consider picking someone up?
No.
I think you're one of the few.
Yeah.
One of the few.
The non-playing players are outscoring my playing players.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I moved Chris Mayne to the bench and put on Josh Bruce in the forward line. And Matthew Broadbent moves to the bench for Jeremy McGovern. So Bruce gets 37, Mayne gets 77. There's 40 points there. McGovern gets 65, Broadbent gets 113. Not only does he get 113, but I have a serious case of deja vu this week, where he's the highest scoring player in my team, and he's sitting there on the bench. And I only had 100 on the field in the end, which is...
So this is exactly like last week.
It's exactly
A 100, you've left 100 on the bench.
Yeah. And the 100 on the bench is higher than...
The team is just looking miserable. You're looking miserable. Everything's miserable.
McGlynn came back, but he only got 79, but hopefully he'll kick in and become a midfielder.
Do you reckon he's going to justify being your, let's refer to the holy draft board here, your 3rd picked midfielder?
I just don't know what's going to happen. Andrew Carazzo, who I also moved to the bench this week, scored 88, which would have been my 2nd highest midfield score behind Scott Pendlebury. He beat everyone else who was playing in my midfield.
So here's an idea. Whatever you think is a good idea this week, do the exact opposite.
To the opposite.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll put Luke Barker on the bench and just...
Hey, that might not be the craziest
It
move.
might not be. Anyway, that's enough down in the dumps from me. Congratulations, Ian. You have won the battle of the bottom of the ladder.
He's moved up and leaving you as the only
I am
person
now the only person without a win. And I will be up against your opponent from this week. So what happened with you guys this week in the feature match?
In the feature match. So in the feature match, I think I was a little perhaps underestimating my team, or perhaps overestimating Steve's when I said I would only beat him by 163. Turned out to be, I haven't done the maths here, but over 349?
351
51.
points.
Yeah,
Not quite a 650 point margin.
Not quite, but
halfway
yeah,
there.
definitely helping our percentage out. Not that it matters, but definitely it's a morale boost. So basically, I had Robertson as my free agent come in, be my highest scoring defender. Pretty stoked about that. Had him actually on my radar for a little while, so I was pretty happy about having him perform. Caniglio got the 3 votes for us, and 127. He's been on fire lately.
Yep.
First match he had a sub-vest, and then he's just like...
Let off the chain.
Boom.
10 tackles, that helped.
Yeah. Even Michael Barlow only getting 55 wasn't enough to stop us, and even Marcus Bontempelli's late withdrawal. I mean, I can focus a lot on my team here, but really the story of the week was how much bad luck,
how unlucky
Scratchy was.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, so
we did say that your forward line was going to beat his forward line.
We gave me the backs, we gave me the forwards, and we said it was even on the rucks, which is pretty accurate. 75 versus 78 in the rucks. And then we said you gave him the midfield.
Yeah.
I ended up beating his midfield by 119 points. So, I mean, that's a solid player there.
Well, I've just done, because I gave you the stat last week, he had an average of 107 in his midfield last week. This week, he had an average of 80. It's 27-point difference.
Yeah,
Massive drop off.
That is a lot. What is... Yeah, and David Armitage was his highest scoring midfielder, as the projections told us. So maybe not...
Maybe we should trust him this week.
Maybe we should trust him.
With our feature match.
But it's a bit worrying that was his highest averaging. And we're not done rubbing salt in the wound for you just yet, Scratchy, sorry. Because... Let's just look at what happened to that forward line. So first of all, the Collingwood game happens, right? And it has Sam Dwyer get 76, and he decides, look, I don't think any of my players are going to be able to beat 76. I said to him, do you think not trust Sherrin Wellingham? He's like, no. Wellingham, no.
Oh, alright.
I'm going to get that 76. Alright. So, as luck would have it, he got completely screwed over by trying to use the loophole. Not that it would have helped, as he's made abundantly clear. But regardless, I like to feel like it's a bit of karma in some way. Jack Siebel injured, Lewis Taylor the sub, Chris Knights, as we've already mentioned, really unfortunate for him.
You gotta say though, Knights 29, Taylor 24, Siebel 7.
Yeah.
Jeez, as he has made abundantly clear on Facebook, they don't even add up to a full player. When you combine them.
No.
Well, they just do.
I think they barely add up to Devon Smith if you added all those scores together.
His entire forward line. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was just really unfortunate for him. Obviously, I took it home, but I don't want to rub it in too much because he's already been screwed over enough.
He's not going to be very happy.
No, better luck next week against Shane.
Well, you're going to make a super recovery like Ian and come in 1500 my 1200. One other point I'd like to make of something I said about your feature match last week is I said I can see your two top midfielders scoring over 100 and all the rest going under 100. This did happen, but
it wasn't the two you
it
thought
was definitely not the two that I was suspecting.
I believe you said I had two superstars, Michael Barlow, who was my worst scoring midfielder, and Dyson Heppel. Yeah, I mean Heppel only just missed out by getting 97.
So, I got that half right. But yeah, Mark Murphy,
I'll pay that now.
Mark Murphy got his first 100, so he's justifying his selection.
Yeah, exactly. Slowly but surely. Yeah. We're going to do our love and hate.
Yeah, we'll do our love and hates.
So your love and hate?
I wasn't prepared because I forgot about it.
I'll do mine first then.
Okay.
I love Stephen Caniglio because it's his second week, busting out a score over 120. He's turned into some sort of tackling machine as well, it seems, and he's actually got some good keeper value for me because I can keep him in the 10th round. So, I mean, if he keeps going this well, who knows? I might want to do that. My hate is Chris Yarran. I'm not sure if I need to explain why, because of my allegiance to a certain team and to what Chris Yarran did to a certain Paul Chapman.
But he also didn't get you any points.
And he also only got 36 points, so not only did he spud it up, he also was just an awful human being. I'm not sure if he's been suspended yet or not.
He's gone referred straight to the tribunal.
Right, there we go. It's probably
which will be tomorrow night, I think.
Yeah.
But he'll definitely miss a week at least.
So yeah, hate.
Worth the hate.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be coming back into my lineup for a while, not just because of the suspension, but
Well, alright, my love then has to go to, again, my only 100 in Scott Pendlebury.
Yeah.
I have to give it to him.
You have such easy choices. You just go for the 100 that you have every week. Yeah, okay.
I mean, I can't ignore him. He's my most consistent player, which you expect from him.
Yep.
So, I love you, Pendlebury. Now, my hate, I want to give it to myself for putting Broadbent on the bench.
You hate yourself, Shane?
That's a bit harsh.
This video is taking a dark turn. Very dark turn.
Alright, I won't give it to myself. I'll give it to the Fool's Gold in Josh Bruce. 112 last week, 90 or something the week before.
Well, he kicked 6 goals to get that, man. Why don't you think he would back that up?
Well, because he got 90 the week before with 2 goals.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like,
Yeah.
I didn't think he'd get 37. I thought he'd get like a 60 or something.
You would have been happy with 60. Yeah.
Look at my
With
team.
this team, alright, yeah. Fair enough, man, fair enough.
I don't know what I thought he was getting, but he had a... I don't know. Just...
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Okay.
We should move on to the next segment.
Yeah, let's move on to the next segment. Alright, so our next segment, we've got points of interest, where we're getting our viewers' questions and answering them. So, dude.
Oh, sorry, I've still got my team on this one.
Dude, get over it.
Okay.
Like, you know, 1 week at a time, man. It'll get better.
What are we doing?
We're doing the viewers' questions with
Right.
answering
Right.
Cam Walters' burning question
Alright,
for the week.
what has he got for us?
So, Cam Walters writes in and says, what is your opinion on Tom Scully? I'm getting increasingly annoyed that he's actually playing well. Leave him in, trade him out, etc. What do you lads think? Alternatively, I can leave him on the bench and get a dud point every week. You could do that, Cam. Probably not your best option. So basically, Scully's had a couple of really decent scores. He's been one of those people that have been talked about as a breakout contender for a while now. He's had a few seasons of being fairly mediocre in terms of fantasy output and probably in terms of actually realizing his potential, to be honest. And now he's had a few big scores, and so I can understand where Cam's coming from. I think Tom Scully, yeah, I mean, I think he's definitely got the potential. You know, it's hard to not put him up. Got something to say?
Well, I'm just looking at where he got his scores last week. So he's got... It's all in kicks, marks and handballs. That's it. So...
12 marks, though.
Well, exactly. That's, you know...
Thankfully he gave him the garbage bin.
There's another bad sign. You don't want to be relying on garbage bins. I don't know. I watched the game on the weekend. I don't remember seeing Tom Scully very like.
Just,
I don't know. Was he
just one of a lot of flurry of GWS bins. Like who knows who's who.
But if you look at his Cam's field.
Yeah, so it's obviously all relevant to who you've got on the field and who's he going to be potentially better than. Let's start from the top. Nat 5, Mundy. Not going to touch them, right?
No, I don't think you need to look at the top 4.
Sam Mitchell, Hartlett, all good. Then is when it gets a bit more questionable. Cross, Melksham, Riskatelli.
Why is Riscatelli at the bottom?
Because I think he was projected to be pretty low this season.
Right.
Obviously he started with a bang, so let's take him out of the equation as well, because unless he proves otherwise, you're going to keep him in.
You're looking at Cross and Melksham.
Yeah, so I mean, I'd kind of question why you've got Melksham in your centres in the first place, because you're getting more use out of them in your forwards. You could probably replace I guess your forwards are pretty good. He could replace a Pavlich or a... That's pretty much it, isn't it? Wingard.
And then now you're looking at playing Scully over Pavlich.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's basically what it's going to come down to. So if you move Melksham into the forward line, you're playing Scully over Pavlich or Wingard or Howlett, who you just got.
I would say...
I'd actually rate Howlett as the weakest of those, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, why are you hating on Howlett so much?
I'm not hating on Howlett, man. I'm just saying, like, it's... out of the players presented before me, you know.
I don't know, I reckon...
I'd probably say Pav as well, but
Daniel
I mean...
Cross has been doing pretty well as well. I reckon just leave Scully on the bench as your emergency.
You reckon? You reckon he's just a solid emergency, just to sit there and get him a dud point every week?
He's not getting a dub point this week.
Yeah, but he'll get one.
I
He'll get
would...
one soon enough.
Alright, leave him on the bench one more week if he gets a score over... Well, what would you take? If he gets over 80 maybe, then put him on the field for... someone.
I don't even know, man.
I mean, look, his first week's 53, his second week's 77. Like, he's not really doing better than any of the other guys. So, I'd leave him on your bench. Solid backup.
You've got the issue of GWS just having so much talent. It's like every single player you're going to hear, well, this kid's going to break out, this kid's going to be awesome soon. Like,
Yeah.
you know, they can do anything. So, I mean, they're not all going to every week be able to hit those marks.
Yeah.
And it really tells.
All of them are going up and down.
Yeah, I mean, I actually noted down some stats, and it's like the GWS top scorers over the last 3 weeks were in week 1, Treloar and Whitfield.
Yep.
Then next week it was Shield and Caniglio, and Whitfield backed up his like 120 with a 70. Then the week after it's Whitfield again and Caniglio, but Shield is down to a 47.
Right.
So I mean, it's incredibly up and down with any midfielders in GWS. Take your pick.
That's why I didn't start with Treloar and RDT.
Is that right? Yeah.
Scared me off.
Yeah. So it's
too many good players. So leave Scully as your emergency.
Yeah, my verdict is actually to try and make some room for Melksham in your forward line and try and move Scully in, but you know, it's not bad to get him as your emergency. Maybe try and trade him as well. Who knows?
Trade.
Yeah.
Trade bait.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
you've got decent players.
I mean, if you've got someone wasting away on your bench, they're probably a good trade option.
He's got no centres though, so as in to come in.
I know.
Yeah. Anyway,
he's been pretty good with the free agents. So hopefully find someone. All right, so moving on to our next viewer question for the week. We've got
this
Alec.
Is exciting.
Yeah. Alec writes in, and he would like to know. He says, "I'm interested in what you think about hanging on to long-term injured players in a keeper league, or the trade value of them, e.g., Ian Mills' situation." So Ian Mills' situation being that he has players such as Liberatore, Jaeger O'Meara, and Ablett. Liberatore and O'Meara out for the season, Ablett out indefinitely, but definitely out for a few weeks. So what do you do there? What do you think, Shane?
Yeah, so there's a bit of discussion here after the fact, and yes, as has been noted, there's only 3 keepers.
That's right, yeah.
So that's not very many. You've got a team of, 30?
Yeah.
And you get to keep 3 of them. So you don't want to be clogging up your bench with...
Team of 26.
26, yeah, I know. I know I didn't get the numbers right. So what I've got here, I wouldn't want to hold more than one. Full season. One Liberatore. And it depends on their draft position. So Liberatore and O'Meara are both drafted after round 10. So they're both round 10 keepers. So if you've got one of them, it's a no-brainer to keep them if you still have them at the end of the year. But you don't want to hold on to both of them through the entire year, I don't think.
No.
Especially if you look at Millsies' team as the example we're using. He's got players he's got Lockie Neal, who he drafted in round 9, so he can keep Lockie Neal in round 8. He's got Taylor Adams, he drafted in round 11.
Right, yeah.
He's got even someone like McRae, who he drafted in round 4. If McRae kicks on and gets like 110 average, and you can keep him in round 3 when he would go in round 1 normally, or round 2.
It's funny because I also looked at his team and I also made a note of Lockie Neal round 8, so there you go, he maybe locked that one as a keeper already.
So already there you've got Neal and Adams, and then maybe your Liberatore and or O'Meara, so you've already got too many to keep.
Only if Adams keeps forward eligibility though, so there's your risk.
Yeah.
Right? I think like 2 is a lot to carry. So you've got a bench of 4, and then you can also kind of use your emergencies as a bit of a bench, but it's a risky one.
Yeah, very.
You're running the gauntlet there.
We've seen what's happened in the first 3 rounds with injuries and withdrawals.
Well, I can already see that Millsies got Gary Ablett as his centre emergency, so obviously he doesn't have a lot of cover there.
And obviously Ablett's a different story because he's not out for the year.
Yeah, so I think Alec's question was pertaining to also the trade value of players like that.
Yes.
So to answer that, I really think it depends on how well you're doing in the season. So if you're someone like Shane, who's 0 for 3, and things aren't looking too great for you, you're probably thinking about moving on some injured players so you can actually get some points on the board there. I think it's important, if you want to go for this season, that you've got to actually make some moves and try and get some points on the board. If you're sitting a bit pretty, like Alec is, for example, then you're probably in a position to be able to cop a few injuries and be in a better position then for finals when your better players come back.
Yeah.
So it really depends. I mean, at the moment, it's probably still early. It's 3 games in.
It's very early.
But you know, the next week or two might really, you know, if you're sitting 0-5, or if you're sitting, if better, like it's not gonna happen, man. Well, might. But if you're sitting with 5 wins, then hell, why not get some injured players into your team? You know, try and see if the teams that are doing a bit worse.
Try and entice Millsy to give you O'Meara.
So, I mean, it's interesting to see. I mean, I guess Millsies sort of, because he's had these guys from the start of the season. I think he's sort of committing to having them for the full season. I think it is going to hurt his chances this season. We'll see whether it's worth it. I'm not sure that it is.
Keeping Liberatore and O'Meara with pick 9 and 10 next year.
Yeah.
And then Lockie Neal with pick 8.
The thing is, though, right, so he's got Liberatore and O'Meara. Liberatore is probably the better keeper of those two, I'd say. Although, you know, not to put down O'Meara at all. But let's say he drops O'Meara, someone's instantly going to pick him up, right?
Probably.
Probably, yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing as well.
So you'd want to try and trade him.
You probably want to trade him instead of actually dropping him, yeah, for sure.
But then, yeah, you're not going to get much trade value at this time of year. So we've done a good job of not really answering any questions. Do you reckon?
I'm not sure whether we've answered this question at all. But we've given it a good go.
Yeah.
That's what matters. Okay, well I think that's enough for our viewers' questions for this week. We just had 2 of them. If you want anything else answered, obviously let us know. We're happy to have a crack at answering your questions.
And join in the discussion if you have a viewpoint on either of these burning questions.
That's right. Yeah.
Join in the comments.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to our next segment.
The next segment is everybody's favourite.
Do-do-do! I don't know what that was. I thought you were just going to play the clip from last week or the week before. What are you wanting from me?
I thought you were just going to say studs and duds, but
Okay, let's try that again.
nah.
Take 2.
Nah,
take 2.
Nah. The intro from the first week was, I don't know, I put it back in last week, it was really bad.
What are you saying? You said it was perfect at the time. Oh, you're lying straight to my face.
Studs and duds.
Yes, okay.
This will go fairly quick. Starting off, highest score. As mentioned, Alec, 1701.
Whoa.
Not enough to beat Bart's, so you only get one stud point for that. Lowest score, Stephen Scratchy Squires, 1191. Not enough to beat Ian's lowest score.
No. Maybe my next opponent will be able to get the lowest score. I think that's the way it's been going so far.
Yeah, look out.
Watch out, Max.
Max. So that brings us to the highest margin. Obviously Bart again and Stephen Scratchy Squires.
I'm happy to keep getting that
So
award.
351 points as we mentioned before, so stud to Bart, dud to Scratchy. The lowest margin was between Kieran and Asher. So half a point to those guys. Then we go on to the players. So this week we had in defence Luke Hodge, 159 points.
Yeah, he had a massive game.
Huge.
Just kept racking it up.
For Alec there. So you get a point. No, wasn't the highest player of the week, but he did beat Pittard's 128, so he gets the point for.
Oh, finally, Pittard's been dethroned.
Finally, we have a decent player.
Yeah, decent player in defence.
Defender of the week.
I feel like Hodgie might keep that for a little while.
Yeah, 159. It's gonna be tough. So Alec gets a point there.
Congrats.
Midfielder of the week, Lockie Neal, 162.
Yeah, as we mentioned.
For Millsy.
That's pretty huge.
That's also the highest score of the week, so
It's alright.
he gets a stud point for the highest score of the week, but he doesn't get for the midfielder score because he's 1 under Brad Even.
163.
163 last week.
Ooh.
So 1 stud point to Millsy. Highest scoring ruckman of the week this week was Stefan Martin.
Yeah, helped by Leuenberger's emission.
Yes, so Stephen Martin, who's been outperforming all expectations, I think,
Has he?
this year. Well,
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Burger in the picture, yeah, for sure.
A lot of people wrote him off, and he is probably, I think he's the third Rockman at the moment.
Yeah, I think. And Max took him pretty late as well. Real steal.
Oh, very late, yeah. So you don't get a point, that's just a...
It's just a point of interest.
So you can't beat Goldstein's 153 from last week.
No.
I think that's got to stand for the year.
Yeah, I'm not sure Stephen Martin, even at his peak, got near 153.
Yeah.
So we just had a little bit of a technical hitch there. I forgot
Didn't charge
to charge
the
my camera. Whoops. But we're back in action now. Where were we?
Forwards
or something like that, yeah. Someone did well.
It's been about 45 minutes since we did the rocks. So the forwards are, he's been touched on already, Dane Swan, 144 points for Nelson. Unfortunately, Jared Waite got 146 points last week.
So Waite is still our champion.
So Waite's still the champion, Nelson doesn't get a point. So that's all of the players for the... Yep, so we finished all that, good. All the stud points. The dud point for the lowest scoring player that counted. Stephen Scratchy Squires takes it out again. Jack Zeeble on 7 points. I feel really bad doing this,
This
but
is not his week, yeah.
it's the rules. That's 3 weeks in a row that he's had a player injured for less than 10 that's counted for his score.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
3 weeks in a row.
3 weeks in a row. I mean, this time it was the loophole.
I had Tomlinson last week for 8 and Dale Thomas for 4 in round 1. It's unlucky.
Yeah, it's definitely not liked by the drinking gods.
No.
That's the thing you got to start praying to, buddy. Yeah.
He lives in Queensland,
Yeah, well, we can watch the video and
just pause it. Crop us out.
We can print you out. You can order your copy from us for a low price of $69.95.
All right. Next up is the league medal. So we have, if you remember from last week, we had Matthew Boyd on 5 points. This week, both Jordan Lewis and Brad Ebert have joined Matthew Boyd on 5 points.
Well, they're both from the same team as well.
So that's a good point. I am giving Ian half a stud point because he owns both Jordan Lewis and Brad Ebert.
Wow.
And they're both equal. If it was just one, yeah, but both of them came up to equal Boyd on 5.
Must have been loving having those two against you this week.
Not very much. Wouldn't have mattered anyways. Stop bringing up my team.
Would have mattered. I think if we didn't have a Jordan Lewis, it might have mattered.
Probably.
Yeah.
So Heppel was on 4, he's still on 4, and joining him is Lance Franklin and Luke Hodge.
It's a pretty illustrious bunch of names.
And that's it. Everyone else is on 3 or 2 or 1.
Yeah, cool.
That's it for the league medal. No one mentioned in the comments that they wanted a medal, so maybe nobody wants a medal.
No, yeah. So if anybody's listening to this, tell us if you want a medal to be made for the league medal. A real medal.
Yeah. So I've got 2
more
dud points. One is to me for exactly all the same reasons as last week. I'm only giving myself 1 instead of 2 this week.
Yeah, because you only had 100.
I had my highest scoring player on the bench.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that was the highest scoring player on anyone's benches.
Oh, was it?
Broadbent's 113, so that's my dud point.
Mike Grundy came pretty close, 102.
Oh yeah, I have runners up. Scully, who
Yeah.
we mentioned, on 109, and Howlett and Grundy were on 102. So,
Yeah.
but Broadbent takes the cake.
Didn't even loophole it in there.
Cam gets a dud point for fielding Jared Waite over Ben Howlett.
Yeah.
His 2 trade players, and
He chose really badly out of those 2.
one of them scored like 100 points more than the other one. Not 100 points, but 70 or something.
Close enough.
He nominated himself for this dud point, so I thought I'd give it to him.
Right.
And 2 final stud points. You just nominated Ash for his starting free agent.
Yeah, Ben Griffiths.
Ben Griffiths, highest
Pretty
scoring
well done.
free agent on the field. And one special stud point for
Nelly Boy.
Nelson for being our one subscriber to our YouTube channel.
Yeah. Don't forget to subscribe.
Thanks, Nelson.
Yeah. Breakfast.
So that does it for
He's our biggest fan.
Studs and Duds this week.
It's time for our final segment, the look ahead at our upcoming matchups for the week. Yeah. So we're just going to run through them quickly. First up, we've got yourself, Shane. Cornflakes up against the Danger Zone. The injury-riddled
weakened Danger Zone.
Yeah.
Prime for the taking.
That's right. So you're looking for your first win on the board. How are you feeling?
Great.
Yeah, you think you able to win this one? The odds have you as a slight underdog.
The odds are very close.
Yeah.
$1.83 to $2.04.
So Scratch, it might have Jack Zeeble out, as well as his new recruit Chris Knights is definitely not going to be starting, and I believe you're missing McGovern.
Right.
From your defensive line. So those are the injuries.
Yep. And it looks like I haven't made any changes yet. Scratchy's brought in Matthew Wright, who's not the most reliable player at the moment.
I don't think he's going to keep him there, to be perfectly honest.
And George Horland-Smith. So, yeah, it looks like it will probably be a close-ish game, but Scratchy's midfield has a lot more power.
You know what I love is that the projection has you with one player getting over 100. Exactly, one player getting over 100. So it's very accurate. The projection knows very well.
Yeah, I think we should just move on to the next match.
Yeah, I actually think you might have a chance of winning your first match for the year here, Shane.
I went for drinks. No.
Next up, we've got Millsies Megaheads against Password is Taco. Nelson starts as a bit of a favourite in this one.
But he thinks Will Hoskin-Elliott's coming back.
And he thinks Taylor Adams is coming back.
And he thinks Taylor Adams is coming back.
Yeah. If he gets those two back, it could be good. Really good for his team, especially Taylor Adams. Will Hoskin-Elliott, maybe not yet.
And Greg leaves Nelson's team again this week for Hawkins.
Yeah,
at the moment.
But we'll see if they want to abuse the loophole one more time.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Adam Schneider's got another Friday game or not in him, but yeah.
And Nelson has no emergency ruck, so he's heavily reliant on Cameron Wood at the moment.
Yeah, because Loby is apparently never coming back ever. Like, who knows what's going on there. Anyway, I actually favour Nelson a little in this one. I'll go with the odds.
I'm going to be like...
You're going to sit on the fence.
Who is it? James Brayshaw on the Footy Show and just not tip.
Well, that's boring for everyone involved. Alright.
I know, how bad is it? He just doesn't tip.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll tip Millsy just because he's the underdog.
Next up, we've got Great Texpectations versus the Man Eat Barcelona. So, Great Texpectations has a huge lead in the odds at the moment, and
there seems to be no reason why.
there seems to be no particular reason why, and in fact, Starko is going to be missing Bartel, huge out for him.
Again.
For some reason, the projection has him on 74, but should be 0, but 74 seems low. Anyway, and then Wallace is also going to be out for him. So it's gonna really test his depth.
So he's a massive underdog, even with those two still in the team.
Yeah, exactly. I think his depth's really going to be tested this week, and to be honest, I think Kieran's got a really good team, really good chance of taking this out. Rory Sloan has been absolutely killing it, just based on him alone. Yeah,
he is losing Ollie Wines to injury this week.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I forgot.
But he's got McKay to cover him.
He also isn't going to have Nick Reebok most likely. So there's actually 2 big outs on each team. Yeah,
but Kieran's got better depth, I reckon.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, I like
except for his rock.
I like Kieran in this one. I think Sahil's being hit a bit too hard. Right, we've got Alec. We've got Bring Back the Barrel versus DK Smash. Alec versus Asher. These two have pretty close odds.
But these odds are a bit skewed at the moment.
Yeah, why's that?
Have you seen Alec's ins?
Oh yes, Alec has for some reason put in Tom Rockcliffe on his field, who's projected to get a 0, and likely will get a 0 because I'm not sure that he's going to be coming back this soon. Although there has been rumours.
He wants to come back.
He wants to. I know he wants
but,
to. But
I don't think the doctors will let him this week. Maybe
No.
next week. If he's that... I mean, the reports say that he can't lift his arm above his head still.
not much use as a footballer then.
You don't want another Ablett out.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think they're going to risk him just for the sake of getting him into the game.
He also has Shields back. I don't know if that's... Is that happening? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one either, to be honest.
And who's Ash brought in?
Ash has brought in Varco. He's actually starting Varco. So I thought that was a bit of a joke pickup or something. I'm not sure if I would trust him that much, but backmen are pretty scarce, so who knows.
He's dropped Isaac Heaney.
He was injured, so
Oh yeah, that's true.
there's no guarantee that he'll be back.
Yeah. So the odds are favouring Ash at the moment, but I'm going to back in Alec once he's fixed up his 0 on the field.
I'm also going to back in Alec. I mean, he has been going extremely well this season, and I don't see why it will stop.
Zip.
Yeah,
But
and Ash has not been going so well. So yeah, I think Ben Griffiths is his highest scoring forward. Tells the story there. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
cool. All right, so then we have myself against Maxi.
Yeah.
I
No
should Sherrin.
changes yet to either of your teams.
No changes yet. Well, you don't change a winning team, Jane.
Ah, alright.
Yeah, there's no reason to punish the boys. They've been doing their job.
Why haven't I made any changes? I don't know. Anyway, carry on.
Well, you can't make any changes. You don't have any players to come in. Yeah, so I'm actually the favourite for this one. You can
By a large margin.
you can probably give a bit more of an unbiased opinion.
Well, it looks like Max has got a 0 on the field with Mzungu, so once he fixes that up, I think the odds will shorten quite a bit because they're quite inflated at the moment. You've got Heppel and Barlow.
Get on them while you still can.
Get on, yeah. Heppel and Barlow are still
No, it's wasted money.
projected favoured mids, which should be how it goes, but
You know,
yeah, I don't know. You seem to again have the better midfield. He's got the better ruck, but yeah, I don't know. I'd probably back you in.
Yeah,
Form at the moment.
Stephen Martin is a bit worrying, isn't he? Yeah, knowing Max, his team will change completely because he'll bring in some free agents
Exactly.
and who knows what will
It's
happen.
hard to judge at the moment,
But yeah, I'm really liking my team at the moment, so I don't see why this is going to stop. Obviously, Chris Yarran's
wants to go.
he's only got a 55 projection anyway, so it's only going to...
You'll have White
I'll
Cross.
have White Cross projected to get 8 points more.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, liking my chances.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the feature match, though. That's the big one for the week. And we've really served you guys up with a real treat this time. We've got 2 of them, you could call them more interesting players in the league. We've got the Feral Drop Bears, coached by Ian Nielsen, and AFL Apocalypse, coached by Cam Walters.
So Ian's been the centre of attention in last week, so
We felt it was appropriate that he's the centre of attention in
we'll
the
put
feature
some
match.
spotlight on him and see how he's going to go.
Well, we'll see if he's basically trading his team away or whether he's actually got a chance, right? So, would you care to take a side here, Shane?
Ian just beat me this week. I don't want to take his side.
But Cam just beat you the week before.
Yeah, but that's
That's in the past.
That's in the past. Yeah.
Okay,
this
sure.
one's fresh. I mean, yeah.
So you're on the side of Cam?
All right.
Alright, cool. I'll try and put myself into Ian's mindset. Okay, let's do this. I've got Jasper Pitt out of my backline. I can't lose.
Well,
He's the best defender in the league.
you know that I've just brought Luke McFarlane in.
Have you?
Yeah, he's a really good defender.
Yeah, he is. He is actually a very good defender, you're right. I would possibly trade you Matt Prittis for him.
Nah.
Nah,
He
not
plays for
worth
the
it.
Eagles.
Yeah. That's true. That's your enemy. That's a shame. I thought that was a really good
No,
trade
that's
for
not a
me.
good trade. Luke McFarlane's going to outscore Prittis for the rest of the year.
So hard to keep straight face. Alright, well,
This is going really
I
well.
think we'll have to call that defense battle an even.
Alright, let's just do a quick run and it looks pretty even. Alright.
In midfield, I've got Jordan Lewis, probably the best player in the league at the moment.
No, he's not.
Hard to dispute. Who is? Who?
Nat
Who?
5.
Who? Nat 5.
He's the best player in the league.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. You're being blinded. Blinded by purple.
No, like there's actually stories on AFL about him being the best player in the league. He's the only player that's got all of the AFLPA votes.
Yeah, well, you know what? I've got, look, just read this out. Tom Bell, Tom Tyson, Ben Newton. Yeah? What have you got? Response?
Well, we had this, I believe Shane and Bart had this discussion before about how good this midfield was and how Tom Scully's 109 can't even break into it. Because they can't choose anyone to get out of it.
The thing is, Jordan Lewis and Brad Ebert are going to make up all of the scores below them by a huge margin.
Yeah.
But I think you win the,
I
think you
feel-
win the midfield
I
battle.
feel it's similar to what we said last week, that Ian's top 2 are really good, or top 3 are actually quite good, but then it's filled with...
But you've got Riscatelli, who's averaged probably a lot.
Yeah, so Cam's mine.
You got the midfield. Alright,
Yeah.
Nick Natanui versus Shane Mumfords. That's an interesting one.
Mummy's just gonna come in and barrel over everyone in this way and smash it all, and Natanui's gonna just...
Natanui's the best ruckman in the league. Have you ever watched a game?
Natanui's gonna just trip over someone
This
and
is
like
his breakout year. This is where he stakes his claim as best ruckman.
pull a hammy or
ever.
something.
Like Shane Mufford is going to. Alright, so the conclusion is that both our ruckmen will get injured. So it'll come down to our like backups.
Yeah.
David Hale versus Scott Lysett.
Okay.
Point taken. And then we move on to the forward line. Ian still, well, I still have Adam Cooney in, who's obviously injured. I for some reason, I don't have my 2 Lynches in.
The lynch mob has left
once
the team.
Once the Lynch mob comes in.
What is going on there? Why have your lynch mob left the team? Are you trying to skew the odds so that we don't have anything to talk about? Didn't work. So who are the lynchers going to come in for? Cooney and the empty spot.
Cooney and Drew Petrie, I reckon.
So who's going in the empty spot?
Oh no, maybe Luke Bruce. I don't know.
So who's going in the empty
Oh
spot?
no, Cooney and the empty spot.
There's an empty
Look,
spot.
yeah. Well, I'm playing the part of Ian. You know, I'm a bit confused.
Okay. Well, I'm not confused. Matthew Pavlich had a bad week, but this week he's coming out and kicking 17 goals.
Ian is gonna wait until Saturday, like morning, to make these changes. Like Saturday 5 minutes before the game. He likes to play it on the edge.
Now I've got Hallett on the field instead of Jared Waite. That's a good move. Jared Roughhead had another quite... Roughhead and Pavlich both had... I know, Roughhead didn't have a quiet week. That's week before. Never mind. Wingard, match winner. I don't know.
So you're not gonna be starting Jared Waite?
Nah, he's
Mistake.
on
Mistake.
the bench. Right.
Mistake. Didn't you see his 147?
Nah.
That's all I can remember.
Nah.
I'm probably gonna win because you're obviously a fool.
Nah, Matthew Pavlich is going to win it for me.
Oh.
I've got Freo players on every line. Pavlich, Mundy, Fife, and McFarlane.
Oh yeah, well I've got Eddie Betts, my favourite Adelaide player. Eddie Betts.
I don't think so. I think I'm going to win.
I honestly don't know who wins that battle. If you put in both Lynches.
Alright, backs even, mids even, rocks
What
even,
is even?
so Cam wins the mid
I
battle.
won the rocks, man.
Oh, you won the backup rocks when
Backup.
Natnu and Mumford go down.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? That's pretty much in line with what the odds say. So I think we're giving it to Cam via the mids.
Yep, at this
Definitely via
stage.
mids. So good luck, Cam. Do you want to actually? Well, we should make a prediction, right?
Yep,
That's what we always
Cam's going to win by 120.
I reckon Cam's also going to win, but I reckon it's going to be a tight one. Maybe like 50, 55.
Alright, you've won both the feature matches so far, so this could be mine. Because Cam is going to smash it.
Yeah.
With Freo's big numbers.
Yeah, he could actually smash it. Yeah.
Go Cam. So that's it for the feature match and the look ahead. I think that brings us to the end of the show.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So thanks again, guys, for watching. If you've made it all the way through, thank you very much. If you've only watched the information that's relevant to you and your teams, thank you anyway. Maybe once we shorten the show, you can watch a bit more.
Yeah, and remember to leave a comment. We really appreciate all your comments, even if it's just to say that you enjoy the show, and especially any questions you might have for us, or any sort of points of interest that you might want to.
Yeah, and also
look at
the comments, when you're quoting stuff that we've said, or when you're talking about things that we've said and stuff, is really cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so keep doing that, guys.
I'm just gonna, I think now, head off and finish drowning my sorrows.
Oh, really, man?
I mean, I don't know if this was enough, but
I don't know if any of this was enough, Shane.
I will leave you 3 and zip and 3.
There, buddy.
We're a good team.
There.
We're a good team.
There. See you next week. 4 and zip and 4.
Who do you think I can... Who's got trade currency in my team?
Trade cards. I don't know, man. I'll give you
Is anyone going to accept Luke Parker, maybe? I don't know. What can I get for Parker?
Chris Yaron for him.
Yeah?
It's gonna bounce back.
Nobody wants Chris Yaron.
Nobody wants Luke McGovern.
There is no Luke I don't even know what I was doing with this.
Oh, Shane hasn't been recording at all.
Are you serious?
No.
That was really bad.
Is that a joke you prepared earlier, or was that
No, I was just on the spot. That's why it sounded so terrible.
I'm glad it wasn't one of you guys sitting there.
Stop laughing. I can't edit it well if you're cracking up. Alright, should I mention that the camera switched off, or should I just keep going?
Just keep going.
Alright.
No, that's wrong.
That's wrong.
Yeah. Cut.
Cut!